I'm actually right-handed. Can we switch?
No, but, okay. Yep.
Oh, is it supposed to be? Okay, let's just do it. I'm sure it is. Okay. And so this is the separate. Sorry.
Your scalpel is
Scalpel's right.
over here.
No, but the
Scalpel,
clamps and
scissors, 2 clamps.
Yeah.
everything else is.
You can get it.
That's all in here. Okay.
Yeah.
I could grab the other stuff and hand it to you.
Sounds good. Okay.
So at the end of the day, it's your least important instrument,
There's
because
your
you're just clamping the foot, you're gonna get the baby out, right?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. This is to us. I'm gonna basically make an incision.
So I know that they tell you that in your thing, but there's no need to be going up here, okay?
Okay.
Because your baby's down in the pelvis, the baby's head is down here, okay? So you really just need to go infraumbilically, right?
Okay.
So if you start up here, and I know they taught you on your video, on the YouTube video, what's under here, other than the uterus? What's up in that area?
Everything.
That you're,
Liver,
when you cut down, midline,
stomach.
midline.
Bowel?
Right, so you can easily cut through the bowel, and then you can get into a different problem if she survives. I mean, so if you go here, like if I can do a C-section at any gestation with this incision, this is way more than I need. Okay, and it's also easier for you, right? Because the structures are easier now, okay? So you're both standing there, okay, so cut. So you're going to go like that.
Do you actually want to make it?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Right.
what are your layers?
So there's the skin, there's subcu, so you muscle,
Okay, what's in between subcu, what comes after subcu?
fascia.
Fascia, right, and then after fascia, under fascia?
I'm not sure.
I thought muscle at that
Yeah.
point.
Right, so skin, fat, fascia, muscle, okay? So what do we do with the muscle?
We want to poke a hole with the Kelly's through the muscle and then like slowly.
We don't have to be, because remember, our muscles are 2 straps, our rectus, so you're going midline. So theoretically, you're gonna be in between the muscle, okay? So once I open up the fascia, I can actually just take my muscle and split it open like that, right? Because I'm not gonna cut the muscle. That's why women think that I got my muscle cut when I have a C-section, but they really don't, okay? We never cut the muscle.
Okay.
We just spread the 2 heads of the rectus apart.
Okay.
Okay, and remember when women are really pregnant, those muscles split open anyways. So you gotta, I mean, I know that you have to think about that, because sometimes the muscle won't be there because it's already split apart. And then you can cut right down into the uterus, which is not always a bad thing. So underneath muscle is before uterus.
Perineum.
Right, exactly. Okay, go. So when you're helping, so it's not only a one-person job, okay? So this is like, there's a thing called a Joel Cohen technique, where you actually cut, and I'm spreading all the tissues and trying to open it up at the same time. It's way more avascular, and it's a lot faster, okay? So you're gonna cut through, and you're gonna start where?
I'm going to start
That's right.
infraumbilical,
Very
going
good.
down to the suprapubis.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
I'm
go.
actually going to
Go.
Okay.
Okay, so you're opening it up, and
Okay.
you actually got through the muscle really
Yoga
easily.
mat is the muscle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was already open. See how she had a diastasis?
Okay.
Okay, so here's, what's this?
Peritoneum.
This is
Right,
perineum.
okay, so what are you gonna do?
I'm going to take a pair of blunt Kellys, sort of poke a hole through it. Is it the black or the clear?
The clear is
The
the
clear is the
perineum.
perineum.
The black is the uterus.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And I'm just going to poke a hole through,
Put your fingers in.
push your fingers in, just sort of rip it apart.
Right, next. Open it, so the other thing we do is like this. We
Really
open
hard.
it up and we try to give ourselves as much room as possible, okay? So next, what's next?
I'm going to take the scalpel.
Good.
I'm going to make a horizontal incision. Or,
Okay, well, what did they teach you?
I thought they taught us a
I thought
horizontal.
vertical,
Was it
because I remember
vertical as well?
extending it with the scissors
Yeah,
vertically.
so
Oh,
they
okay.
teach you vertical, and I'll talk about horizontal in a minute, but they teach you vertical,
Oh, right,
okay?
because the horizontal is the fan and steel.
Yes.
Right. Okay, sorry.
So you're gonna start away
Okay.
from the baby, right? Because
Okay.
you don't wanna cut the baby's face.
And just a tiny neck, right?
You
And
can
then
cut in, you're gonna cut all the way down, cut all the
Okay.
way down, okay?
okay,
Go on, make it
just
bigger.
keep cutting.
We'll just open it, and then
Okay.
again, remember the muscles are this thick at the time, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so again, put your fingers in, and then
Okay.
we can see, okay, so what do we do at the same time?
I'm taking
We-
The scissors.
the scissors to
Right.
protect.
We should
Or
use a
the
pair of
tail.
bandage, where's our
I
scissors?
think they're right there.
There we
Okay.
go. And so we're extending our incision, right?
Okay.
So there we go. So
And just sort
you take your own hands, and you're helping him, and you're going in the hole too.
Right.
Okay, and so you're holding, and you're
Okay.
holding, and you're pulling.
Oh, okay. So
and
one
you're
person on each
pulling,
side.
And now cutting. See how
Oh,
I
I
made, look
see.
at how I made it a lot easier
I
for
see.
myself now.
Pull it up.
What's this
Okay.
blue thing? What's sitting
Bladder.
down low? Right, so
Bladder.
keep going, we gotta
Okay.
get the baby out. Keep going, keep going,
Okay.
keep going. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Water all over the place. Okay, so we're gonna stop just above the bladder.
Okay.
Okay, so now how do we get the baby out?
I don't think we should use the scalpel.
Good. You're in the uterus now, there's nothing to cut, the
Okay,
baby's
so I
in there.
guess you should just.
So
okay.
we're gonna use the hand that's lower,
Oh, okay.
closest to the, remember, this is where the baby is, it's down in the pelvis.
Okay.
So this hand goes down in there. What's the most likely position of the baby? Turn.
It's vertex.
Right, so we're gonna go down under the baby.
Okay. I
Feel
I
that
feel the
head?
head. Yeah.
Good, okay,
And
good.
then,
Take your hand underneath it,
okay.
pop the head up through the incision.
Okay.
Pop it up, pop it up, pop it in through the incision. Don't pull the baby's
Oh,
head.
oh, how
Just
do I-
pop.
okay,
Like
so-
this, watch. So we're gonna get the baby, you can do it. We're gonna pop the baby, our hands underneath, and I'm popping them up.
Okay.
And so now we're gonna use the rest of our team to push the baby's head through the incision, okay? So try it. Let me get my hand out.
Sorry.
Okay, so get back under the baby.
Okay. So just
So
pop the head
don't
in.
pull on the head, your hand
Okay.
levers the kid's head out, okay?
Okay.
Good, so it's coming, good, so now we're pushing.
Oh,
The polyhedral needles. Okay, go, 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 pull, pop, pop, pop. So here it's coming, get underneath and help lift
Okay.
the baby's head out.
Yep.
Good, here it's coming. Don't pull the baby's head.
Okay.
Don't pull the
Okay.
baby's head.
And
Okay, so
then-
now the head's out.
Yeah.
So now what do we get? So the head is out, so now
Okay.
what comes next?
The just check for a cord or
Whatever.
okay. And then just
We're getting, what's
pull.
coming next? We don't pull, so we're just gonna lever.
okay.
So sometimes we take our hand and we put it under the baby's arm,
Okay.
if we can get in there, and then we lever, oh my arms here. So this is actually, the part that's realistic is you can't always look, you feel, okay? So there's one shoulder. So remember when we deliver a baby, we go the other way, and then
Okay.
these guys are pushing,
Okay. Okay.
and your hand goes under the other shoulder. And here comes our baby. And we're never pulling the baby by its head, we're always pulling by its shoulders. Okay, there,
Okay. And then,
delivered.
nice.
But we're not ready yet. How do we
You gotta
get?
clamp the.
Clamps are here.
Perfect.
You can lie
Go
the
ahead.
baby down on
Oh,
the
okay.
mother's
Yeah,
leg.
sure.
You can lie the baby down on the mother's leg. Okay. Good.
And then scissors are here. So I'm just gonna cut this.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're
And then
gonna
we
hand
gotta-
our baby off to the pediatric team.
Perfect. And then we're gonna deliver the placenta.
Okay. Sometimes we can just pull and then the placenta comes out.
Okay.
Or no.
Couple to
End of the day.
Sorry. Yeah, usually sometimes we can contract the uterus through the belly and the placenta comes out. There we go, good. Good. It's a full placenta. It's a big placenta. Oh,
Uh-oh. It's okay. Something's breaking. End of the day.
placenta. It's had a hard day.
That happens sometimes, right?
Yes, it does actually. It's hers.
We have to look for an intact placenta. Sorry.
I say, so we don't worry about that in this lady, right? So
Yeah.
if she has retained placenta, we don't really care, so that's a nice placenta. Okay, so what are we gonna give now?
We're gonna pack it with towels.
Okay, we're gonna
So,
pack her, we're not, because we're not gonna take the time to close, but what else can we give to help the uterus to contract? Right, what dose?
It's on my phone.
Yeah, but you can't use your phone
Sorry.
now, you're busy, you've got your gloves on.
10 units, I think.
It's 5 IV push, okay,
Okay.
so you can get your anesthesia or someone else to give an IV push dose, right? But it also can make the blood pressure go, what happens to blood pressure when you give oxytocin bolus? Right, so just be thoughtful of it, okay? Not that you shouldn't give it, just be aware of it, okay? And then you pack, and then, are you doing CPR at the same time as we're doing this? Not you, but,
I assume so, yeah.
right, good. So that's like, so you're doing all of this at the same time as we're doing CPR on her, right? So 2 people, 2 people, so you need many more people, so that you wanna also be calling for help, right? Because you need at least your 4 people at least, right? How'd that feel?
Very terrifying.
So just remember, so always like stand at the side, you're here, we're facing each other, okay? And so when I go to get my baby, I have to get the presenting part out of the pelvis. It could be a foot, it could be a bum, and it could be a head, but it's most likely gonna be a head for this lady, okay? So your hand slides down, and it slides underneath, and so we can't pull the kid out by its head, because you're gonna hurt it, and you're gonna cause an injury. So we wanna slide down, and then we're just gonna pop either the butt or the head out. So we pop it out of this incision, and this is a big uterine incision, it should just come out really easily. Okay, and then we just deliver like any baby, shoulders, and then we grab the baby under the shoulders and we just pull him out, okay? So once you get whatever it is out of the pelvis, the rest of the delivery is easy, okay? So remember, it's most likely at this to be a head.
If we were to have made the incision larger,
Right.
would it have been easier to take out the baby in theory?
Maybe, but just remember, even if I cut up here,
Oh,
my
that's true,
baby's
the
down
uterus,
here.
yeah, okay.
So I've now spent a good amount of time, remember the muscle of the uterus is this thick, right? So those scissors that you use, I can tell you for a fact, when I try to extend an incision with these incisions, it's hard. Like you have to do multiple cuts to get something this big. So really, you wanna go where the chances are highest of you getting the baby out. So the other thing that I was saying, and you did the right thing, we don't do a fan and still, I would do a fan and still incision, but you're not going to, because you're gonna do this because it's the fastest. But on the uterus at term, the lower segment of the uterus, just above the bladder, is like this thick. So sometimes you do a little tiny cut, and you go, and then the uterus is wide open, okay, and then you can pop it out. Because once I'm starting to cut through this thick muscle, I know they teach you that, but in a term baby, that lower part is very, very thin, it's very easy. But if you're doing a C-section on a 25 or 26 weeker, just go slip up and down, because there's no thin part, it's just a thick wall of the uterus, and you have to make a big incision, okay? If I'm 25 weeks and I cut up here, there's no uterus up here. I'm gonna be cutting right through her bowel, and I'm gonna be wasting time going through all of this. Underneath the umbilicus.
You guys can go ahead and cut and see what happens. Just go nuts, you can go.
There can't be any more rice, so.
So cut through, yeah. So you're a good assistant though.
I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, look what's up there.
So look at that.
I do appreciate the fidelity. Wow.
Yeah, okay.
If I may ask about the popping the head,
Yes.
just so I know what the hand was, so you mean,
So let's put him back in.
mhm.
Okay, so let's try one more time. And then, well, we'll just put it, it's a full ricey situation. Let's just put him right in here so
Right.
you can feel it.
Mhm.
Okay, so realistically, my head is down
Even
in
further
here.
down.
Okay, yeah, it's further down. Okay, but just feel what it feels like to put your head, look, come over here.
Right.
So you're right-handed, right?
Right.
So you would really be on that side, and I'm glad that you knew that you felt uncomfortable to be doing it from this side. That's exactly the right thing to do. You switch to the other side, right?
So the delivering hand should be.
So if I'm over here,
Yeah.
my hand is this one, the one that's closest to the vagina, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna come down, slide down, my hand, see my hand's underneath the kid?
Yeah.
So what I do is I flex the kid's head, and then what will happen is it'll pop out. Okay?
Okay.
So the whole idea, because I notice everybody, and even on that YouTube video, she grabs the kid by the head, and that's really not, you can hurt the baby. You could give it a skull fracture by doing something like that, so you don't ever want to do that. You're sliding the kid, and you're flexing the head, and you're popping it out of the incision, okay? So try it, both of you try it and see how it feels. But try both
You're on
from
the
the
right
same
side,
side.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's put it right down. It's really hard. Let's try this, let's make it harder. Okay, we'll make them transverse and see how that is, okay? Put your hand in, and so you have to slide your hand down slowly and feel the bottom, see how easy that is? So you have to feel, you have to get underneath the kid's head, or the kid's butt, or whatever's in the pelvis, and pop it up out of the incision, okay? Because that is how it comes out. Okay?
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking like if the bum, if it's a breech, like
Yeah.
the bum is in the pelvis,
Yeah.
and you tilt the bum up, are you trying to deliver it feet first?
Yeah, so here, let's do a breach. Okay, so let's
You
make
can
it
get
a
that
frank
clamp on
breach.
if you want. Just-
Okay, so this is a frank breach, right? Butt presented, right? pelvis is the presenting part, okay?
Okay.
So I put my hand in, I go down below the butt, right? And so as I'm going to pull it up, this is all pregnant. So this is the other person pushes, and then I pop it out, okay? So my butt is here, right? So there are maneuvers to get a baby out, a breech out, right? So then we deliver the legs, right? We deliver the legs, and then we slide the baby down, shoulder, and then this baby would come out because you have a really big incision, but you usually sometimes put your finger in the baby's
Okay.
okay?
So
If you were breech footling, so you reached in and there was a foot, grab the foot, never let go. If you have both, it's way better. Same thing. Pull the baby down, shoulders, turn him to 90 degrees, grab the other shoulder, get the head, so again, you just flex the head, so the head has to always get flexed down to get out of the incision. Okay? So that's how you do it.
okay. Can I try that?
And if there's an arm
Reach.
presenting?
Oh yeah, and if there's an
Right.
arm, what happens if there's an arm presenting?
If there's an arm presenting?
So let's say you deliver the baby, you don't know what's going on, and you cut, and this happens.
Pop the head out? Or reach more
Is this good,
caudate.
is this good or bad?
Bad under the hand.
Okay, you can't deliver the baby from the arm, so if you see an arm, just push it back in, okay?
Mm.
And then go back inside with your hand and figure out what's what, okay?
Okay.
Because it's not as easy as it seems, so sometimes, especially these big babies, if they're in a bad position, you don't always know what the presenting part is, you have to feel it and know. That's why when you grab a foot, the way you know it's a foot, because you're not looking, you're feeling, is you feel this heel. There's nothing on the hand that feels like this. You feel that, I know that's a foot. I grab it and the foot comes out.
You grab both.
Well, sometimes I can't find the other foot. If I
Okay.
grab one, I pull and I go like, oh, there's a vagina. Okay, so then I go up and I grab the other foot, okay? So if I have at least one foot, I'm okay. If I have a hand, I go, uh-oh, shove it back in, okay? And go back down into the pelvis and figure out what's what, okay? Because that's what's hard. Like, it seems like it's easy to get the baby out, but sometimes it's actually quite difficult. And just to get that head of the incision and get your hand around the head properly to flex the head to pop it out is a little harder. And so it's just a thing that, and as I said, that's why you should come always to the labor floor every once in a while and come and see what the uterus feels like and looks like, and how sometimes it's hard to pop that head out of the pelvis. Because she wasn't in labor, so it's not like it's very, very low, but it still could be right down into the pelvis, right? So you still have to go down into the pelvis underneath the presenting part to get below it, and that's the only way you can deliver it. You can't pull on it, it won't come. So,
And so if this is,
this baby cries in utero.
oh, is that actually a baby?
No,
Is
when
it
I
crying?
heard crying, I'm like, oh. So go to your other side. So the thing is, you should always deliver on your dominant side. Okay, I'm left-handed, so I would be much better on that side.
Wait, I'm gonna be here.
Do you want it to be a head down again?
Sure, I'll,
It's
oh,
mostly-
sorry, sure. Let's do a surprise.
Surprise.
No, here, I'll do this one.
Okay.
The bowels.
Now you got bowel mixed up in that.
So, let's see.
Okay, so let's say I've cut into it, and we've spread apart,
Okay.
okay?
And look at the baby's looking at you. It's facing up.
Okay, so I'm gonna get underneath the head,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tilt the head up,
And flex it. Okay, so
Okay.
it's really important when it's facing up like that, because it's a lot harder to deliver the baby.
okay? And then I'm going to,
Flex it up, and then we help you, because we
Okay.
push.
and then I'm gonna grab one arm,
So get it out a little bit more.
Okay.
Out of the, so you get it. See
Okay.
how I'm lifting the baby like this?
okay, and then I've got one arm,
Yeah, so get them out that
Okay.
way. Now we go to the other side.
and grab the other arm,
Great. Beautiful. I
And then
think you
just-
should be an obstetrician.
nice, okay,
Yeah,
cool,
perfect.
Satisfying.
thank you. Okay,
That was good.
thank you.
Thanks so much. I was wondering what could happen after PPH, but obviously this is
Yeah,
the
we
natural
were saying.
conclusion. Thanks so much.
Yeah.